Hi everyone, it's AstroTarotJohn here, and it's December 31st of 2025. An early Happy New Year to all of you. I have something very special today. Today we are witnessing the death of an entity that a lot of us know very well, and that is MTV. Today is MTV's last day on the air. So I thought what we could do is take a look at the astrology of MTV. I have MTV's chart here. Its birth chart is very interesting, and I wanted to talk a little bit about MTV's birth astrologically and why some of the reasons that it's coming to an end astrologically now. All right, so for those of you who don't look at astrological charts often, let's talk about what we have here. MTV is not a person, obviously, it's an organization, but the chart is the same. It is the beginning of an organization. In the case of a natal chart, it would be a person. However, when you're looking at the chart of an organization, the idea is the same. It's the birth of the organization. So we look at the planets and the houses and the signs just like we normally would. In this particular case, we're looking at the sun and the moon. Both of them are in very outspoken and outgoing Leo. This is the signature of an entity that is going to be the ultimate influencer. As you can see, we have the sun and the moon in Leo. Both of them are at the bottom of the chart. The sun in the fourth house. Interestingly enough, the fourth house rules the home. And of course, MTV was coming into our homes via cable. And not too far away on the left, you'll see circled is Mercury, the planet of communication, which is, of course, really interesting because obviously it was cable TV that was communicating to us. And so it was bringing the communication right into our homes. And Cancer, where Mercury is in the sign of the home. So we have the sun and Mercury both in the fourth house, which is, of course, very appropriate for MTV. In the fifth house, not too far away, I've also circled the moon in Leo. The moon in Leo craves attention. And of course, for a chart to have the sun and moon in Leo, again, the sign of the ultimate influencer. Here in the fifth house of fun and performance and creativity, we have the Leo moon, which is, of course, perfect for MTV. Next door, we also have the Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo we'll talk about more in a few minutes, but Venus is an incredibly creative planet, even though in this case it's in Virgo, but it's in the fifth house of performance. So for MTV, we also have some great setups here in the fifth house. So for MTV, they had a very nice setup, at least at the beginning, to have a lot of influence over folks. The fourth house, as we mentioned, streaming directly into the house and home. And of course, here in the fifth with the moon in Leo and Venus here in Virgo. Okay, now I've put the chart up here again, only this time I've circled the sign that is at 9 o'clock on the chart. This is an important sign in a chart, perhaps the most important one, you could make an argument for it, because it is the sign on the horizon. We call it the ascendant or the rising sign. In your birth chart, it's particularly important, and in this chart, the birth of an organization, it is of equal importance because it can show the strength or weakness of a given organization. In this case, for MTV, the rising sign was Taurus. One of the most important factors in any chart is the planet that rules the rising sign. In this particular case, the planet that rules the rising sign is Venus. Unfortunately for MTV, Venus was in Virgo, which is in the sign of its fall. Astrologically speaking, a planet that is in fall struggles. Venus in Virgo is not a particularly good or auspicious position. And so, one of the things that you could have said, had you been an astrologer at the time that MTV started, was that it probably wasn't going to last forever. It did have some staying power based on the Leo positions, but not a ton. And so, it definitely had some weakness in the rising sign. While as astrologers we often see birth charts, what I'm going to show you now are two of the reasons why MTV is ending, astrologically speaking, of course. The first one is going to be Pluto on the south node. Now, if you don't know the nodes, quickly, the north and south node of the moon represent, in the case of the north node, the place where we want to aspire to and grow. The south node we often call the toilet bowl because it's a place where we feel very comfortable, but it's a place where we can't stay if we want to grow. Oftentimes, planets that hit the south node mean that something big is going to be ending in our lives. In this case, we see Pluto on the south node of the MTV chart. We have Pluto in Aquarius sitting on the south node, and it's been there, folks, for quite some time, the last year or so. So it's not surprising at all that MTV is going to be ending tonight on December 31st with Pluto sitting at 2 Aquarius. We're also going to see that the transiting node right now, the transit charts is the outer chart that we're looking at right now. The transiting south node is at 10 Virgo, which I've circled, and it's hitting right now right on the weak Venus in Virgo that you see in the chart of MTV as well. So it's getting 2 nodal hits as well right about now. Again, not surprising that this would be a time when it would be time to say goodbye to MTV. Anyway, folks, I hope you found this look at the birth and ultimately the death of MTV interesting and fun. I hope to do more things like this in the coming year. I wish you and yours a very blessed, hopeful, and prosperous 2026. Please like and subscribe and recommend me to others. I certainly do appreciate that as I relaunch the channel. And I hope to see you across my table soon.